What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Campfire Andromeda 2020 version, that is. Full disclosure, this unit is on loan to me from headphones.com, and it will be going back at the end of the review period. And if you guys want to take a look at the IMs themselves, here they are. Little green boys. So yeah, in this video I'm not going to be doing the whole unboxing thing or anything. I'm just going to be talking specifically about the sound, because at the end of the day that's what matters most to me. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. And as always, if you guys find these reviews informative, be sure to hit that like button and to subscribe for future content. It really helps the channel grow. This is probably one of the most iconic IMs in the hobby at the $1,000 price point, so I figured I should probably get it on the channel. Also, I have a written review to this, and you could go check that out if you want the full details. The first thing you gotta remember is that this is a super duper sensitive IM. If you're planning to use this on your phone, computer, or anything that's really not a dedicated audio device, there's probably going to be a faint hissing noise. So I do recommend picking up something like the iFi IE match if that is going to be a concern. What this also means is that the Andromeda is really source dependent. Like, even cables, which I don't particularly believe in, will actually shift around the frequency response on measurements. Now that said, I do all of my critical listening off of my iBasso DX160 for consistency, and this is where pretty much all of my listening impressions are coming from for these IMs. Alright, so in terms of the sound, the Andro 2020 is following something of a U-shaped frequency response to my ears. It is neither a reference tuned IM nor is it an all-out fun IM. It's really something more along the lines of a chill out and relax sound. This is something that I personally really jive with, and I can listen to it for hours on end. In terms of what's actually changed from the previous Andromedas, Campfire Audio has done a couple of things differently. First, they've discovered PINA compensation. One of the issues I've heard about the old Andromeda is that it was a little bit hazy, and this is because there was no PINA gain. So definitely a good thing here, and the upper mid-range on the Andromeda clearly benefits from it. I hear pretty good resolution, and there's also sufficient body to give it some weight as well. The second thing that Campfire Audio has done is cut out that upper treble spike that gave the original Andromeda its sparkly treble. That was something it was kind of known for, and I think that this change will be more love it or hate it. Personally, I do think it makes for a more agreeable tuning because that upper treble spike could be a little bit polarizing. So overall, I would consider this to be a more balanced sound signature than the original Andro, and personally, I'm digging it quite a lot. What really stands out about the Andro 2020 to me, though, is its technical capabilities. And to this effect, the Andro's 2020 imaging capability, if I had one word to describe it, it would be insane. It easily plays with the best I have heard, if not being the best I have heard. I often hear terms like 3D imaging, holographic, stuff like that thrown around. But the reality is I've heard very few IMs that actually sound like they're breaking outside of my head, outside of the head stage. The Andro 2020 is one of the few that does manage to do this though, and if any IM merits these buzzwords, which I still think are gross exaggerations, this is probably it. Part of what aids in this, at least in my opinion, is its vocal presentation. Vocals tend to hang further back on the stage, and this makes it feel like they're actually projecting. There's a sense of depth because of that. So yeah, imaging is definitely the Andro 2020 standout, but it's no slouch when it comes to the other intangibles as well. It layers pretty darn well because of its transient speed, and the soundstage is also pretty large. I don't really like discussing soundstage size just because I find it varies wildly from person to person, but I think most would agree that the Andro stage is quite open, if anything at that. In terms of critiques, my biggest issue would have to be dynamics. The bass response is characteristically BA, meaning it really just decays too quickly to create dynamic slam or have any texture. It is quite good at scaling rapid beats on quicker tracks, but I would stay away if you listen to a lot of EDM or something like that where the drops are kind of the focus of the music. The Andro 2020 doesn't really do macro dynamics very well either, as in scaling vocal inflections and stuff like that. I don't think a lot of people will notice this just because in terms of pure resolution it's quite good, but there's definitely some macro dynamic compression going on. Timbre wise, there is some BA timbre, but I have to say the Andro 2020 is pretty darn clean in this respect. I'm not really hearing any BA artifacts, and it's more of a weight density issue than anything else. Just for the Andro 2020 itself, this is a very good IM. I think it strikes a good balance with its tuning. It's definitely a safer tuning, but it's also not falling into, I guess you could say, boring territory for me. I have heard a lot of IMs that I would consider safe, like the Sony IER M9, maybe even the U12T to some extent, that are really, really technical, really safe, but they just don't have that engagement factor as much as I would like. I'm not going to do the scoring out of 10 thing this video just because I think people tend to get butthurt when they see the score, but yeah, this is up there on the scale. Very solid, safe IM, and if I had $1,000, it would probably be a toss-up between this and the Sony IER M9. I don't really think you can go wrong with either, it just depends more on what you're looking for.